Well, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So now I've watched Godzilla, King of the Monsters, the 1955 American remake of the original 1954 Godzilla. And this one, it's a lot of the same movie. Like they reuse a lot of footage from the original, and just splice in a bit of new footage and some new material and some Western actors too. And it's not in Japanese with the subtitles; it's all dubbed English. And it wasn't bad. It's not as good as the original. I prefer the take on the whole story in the original, and I prefer I actually prefer when it's in Japanese with the subtitles. It adds more like character and authenticity to the film, in my opinion. And but it wasn't bad. It's roughly the same story, but they did change the story up a little bit. And I will say the footage is still great because a lot of it is the original footage, but it looks maybe a bit different, like restored or something. I don't know if it's just the Blu-ray I got, or if it's just if it was actually to do with the American remake itself. But the shots seemed a little bit not as, like, they were still the same, but just like a little bit not with the same exact look to them. So I think maybe there was at least some restoration or distortion to them in the from one stage to the other, getting to this point. And the new shots added aren't as good as the original shots from 1954 either. But, it still ultimately is good. And some people, because they changed the story up a bit and they westernized it up a bit. And to me, some people had issues with that, and I can see why. But to me, I do like the American Godzilla movies. Like, I love 2014, as I've cleared up. Even though I didn't like the new Godzilla King of the Monsters that much, I still totally appreciate the work that was done on the creatures, and especially Godzilla and the action set pieces and all of that. And, I'm one of those people that likes Godzilla 1998, as I've cleared up on the channel. It's the review for that movie, which is like the most controversial American Godzilla movie of them all. But I don't dislike or refuse to watch or have any ill feelings on the American remakes of the Godzilla name. They're not as good as the original Japanese, but they are definitely good, and they definitely hold their place. And like I said, 2014 I think is actually one of the best Godzilla movies like ever. Right up there along the originals, actually. So asides all of that, though, for the movie itself, to me it really is I'm sure at the time there were some background politics and perhaps some underhanded things that may have gone on, which there's no condoning that in any way, but but on strictly an artistic level, like if you look at it just from an artistic level, it really is just a different culture's take on an existing idea, which I think is cool, right? And so it stars Raymond Burr as the journalist Steve Martin, and it was not a bad role. I didn't like his character that much. I still like the original characters the best that were in this one, and I didn't. His character was all right. It was kind of all right to not have to read the subtitles. Then I don't know if the words spoken are exactly accurate to the subtitles from the original, or or what the actual language when it was spoken in Japanese, like if it's 100% accurately translated or not. But still, it is nice in a certain way just to be able to watch the movie and not have to read the subtitles, right? But I really don't mind the subtitles in the original one. So ultimately, it really roughly is the same movie, but just not quite as good, and a different take on on the Godzilla story, and so therefore, my grading for this movie, I think, is going to be an A minus, because it's still hardcore, heavy duty Godzilla. Like, it's still Godzilla, and it's still awesome, and they did a good job, and they formulated a pretty alright story around the existing one, and it's totally passable, and still probably one of the best Godzilla movies of all time, really, ultimately, because it's just, it's very similar to the original. It came out around the same time, and it's got a lot of the same scenes and the same Godzilla costume and design as the original. So yeah, ultimately it would be up there on the list for sure, absolutely. So not as good, but still very good. So A minus is my grading for Godzilla King of the Monsters 1955. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I'm excited to present with you some very interesting facts in that booklet in the next Godzilla video. Thank you very much for watching.